Multiple choice questions in veterinary pathology. Heart failure cells are seen as left-sided heart failure. Cholecystitis involves inflammatory response in gallbladder only. Cystitis means inflammation of bladder. Ajaccio disease is caused by herpes virus. Epithelial pearls are seen in squamous cell carcinoma. Most common site for metastatic spread of malignant tumor is liver and lungs. Which nephritis is due to antigen antibody reaction? Glomerulonephritis. Twisting of intestine on its mesenteric axis is known as volvulus. Folliculitis is inflammation of hair follicle. Pathogenesis of which of the following disease involves protogen substance? Tetanus. The pathogenesis of tetanus involves protogen substance. Predominant cell in pus is neutrophil. Main pathological alteration in pox disease is hydropic degeneration. Crop mycosis is caused by fungus. Hemorrhage at tip of proventriculus is main lesion in Ranikhet or Newcastle disease. Merrick's disease is characterized by enlargement of nerves. Equine sarcoid is caused by a papilloma virus. Colligranuloma is associated with E. coli species. Omerthritis. Omerthritis is inflammation of shoulder joint. Shoulder joint inflammation is omerthritis. Which of the following is correctly matched? Hepatic coccidiosis is absent in poultry. In zinc deficiency, parakeratosis is seen in swine. Identified the incorrect match. Are correct as manganese causes cirrhosis, selenium causes alkali disease, and elephant has FMD. But the incorrect is rhinoceros has FMD. Rhinoceros do not have FMD. Blood in sputum is termed as hemoptysis. First line of defense in inflammation is neutrophil. Foul smelling diarrhea contains fat is called as the steatorrhea. Steatorrhea is the foul smelling diarrhea containing fat. Necrotizing myositis is feature of blackleg and blackwater. They are the different names of same disease. Its another name is also the necrotizing myositis. Sequel of FMD is panting. Panting means intolerance or not tolerating the heat. Which of the following is incorrect? Soft pad is synonym of canine distemper. Sequel of canine distemper is chorea. It is eye related problem in dogs who are infected with canine distemper at their life. Hemoglobin is expressed in gram%. Hematocrit is also known as packed cell volume. Programmed cell death is called as apoptosis. Nodules of tuberculosis is example of caseative necrosis. Which of the following organism is detected by dark field microscopy of urine? Leptospira is detected as by a dark field microscopy of urine. Inflammation of crop is called as inguinalitis. Lumpy skin disease is caused by a pox virus. Blue tongue virus is transmitted by a culicoid species. Classical example of gas gangrene is blackwater. Intracytoplasmic and intranuclear inclusions are present in canine distemper. Brooder's pneumonia is caused by Aspergillus fumigatus. Bollinger bodies are feature of pox virus. Which of the following is not? ICH is not by morbillivirus. Measles, canine distemper, and rinderpest is caused by morbillivirus. Sway back condition or say back condition is due to deficiency of copper. Copper causes sway back condition. Omphalitis is caused by E. coli species. Main feature of chronic inflammation is infiltration of giant cells and fibrosis and infiltration of giant cells is the main feature of chronic inflammation. Hypoxia causes polypnea. Vitamin C is synthesized in intestine. The lack of differentiation and reservation to embryonic type of cells is known as anaplasia. Turkey egg kidney is found in swine fever. The large cells containing lipid material are found in xanthomas or totan giant cells. Totan giant cells are the large cells that contain lipid material and found in xanthomas. Blue eye in cattle is also known as Moraxilla bovis. Moraxilla bovis causes blue eye in cattle. Blue means cyanotic, any organ that is cyanotic or any disease in which there is cyanosis, it is called as the blue eye by Moraxilla bovis, and cyanotic tongue is also in the blue tongue disease, so it is also called as blue tongue or cyanotic tongue. Blue eye in dog is also known as both A and C. Blue eye in dog is also called as the ICH or rebirth disease, in which of the ICH means infectious canine hepatitis. In which of the following thrombi partial blood flow is maintained? Canalized thrombi, there is partial blood flow. Lines of Zehen is related with thrombosis. Hydrosalpinx is edema of oviduct. Wool sorters disease is other name of anthrax. Disease transmitted by vector is blue tongue or cyanotic tongue, as there is cyanosis in tongue, it is viral disease. Stain for amyloid tissue is Congo red stain. Congo red stains amyloid. Fragmentation of nucleus is called as karyorrhexis. Necrosis of which architectural details are preserved? Necrosis in which architectural details are preserved is cognitive necrosis. Cooling of body is called as algor mortis. Stiffening of body is called as rigor mortis. Postmortem white clot is termed as chicken fat clot. Macrophages of brain are microglial cells which is absent in exudate. Platelets are absent in exudates. Diffuse spreading suppurative inflammation of connective tissue is called as phlegmon. Phlegmon is the diffuse spreading suppurative inflammation of connective tissue. Mucopurulent exudate means more pus than mucus in exudate. Which vitamin is required? Vitamin K is required for wound healing. It is available. Is required for vitamin. It is wrong. Question 6 answer here mentioned is wrong. Vitamin K is required for wound healing and it is available as Transamine brand name. Chronic irritation of cell wall lead to metaplasia. Hypostatic congestion is more common in lungs. Pinpoint hemorrhages are called as petechial hemorrhages. It is observed in Newcastle disease at proventriculus. Infarction is an area of ischemia with cognitive necrosis. In poultry, intradermal test in TB is performed at Vettel. Most radio-resistant organ is brain. Most susceptible species for salt toxicity is fowls and swine. Fowls or swines are susceptible species for salt toxicity. Slipped tendon in fowl is due to deficiency of manganese. Curl toe paralysis in fowl is due to deficiency of vitamin B2. Which of the following is incorrect? All are correct, as foul smelling diarrhea is absent in Jones disease. Fat is stained by Sudan IV or Sudan 4. Deposition of iron dust in tissue is called sidriosis. I will not speak the wrong sentence. Neural lymphomatosis is main lesion in Marek's disease. Marek's disease has neural lymphomatosis. Main target of virus in T cell. T cell is the main target in Marek's disease. Rubber jaw syndrome. Rubber jaw syndrome is seen in tumors of parathyroid. Tumors of parathyroid has rubber jaw syndrome. Localized dilatation of artery is called as aneurysm. Abnormal notching of erythrocytes is called as crenation. Increased in number of immature neutrophils is called as shift to left. Increased immature neutrophils shift to left. Increased the aged neutrophils means shift to right. Inflammation of, remember that left means immature. Left indicates more immaturity, right indicates more maturity. Inflammation of lymph node is called as lymphadenitis. Dilatation of bronchus is termed as bronchiectasis. Bronchiectasis is the dilation of bronchus. Erythritol sugar play important role in pathogenesis of brucellosis. It is present in fetus. Which is example of direct zoonosis. Rabies is example of direct zoonosis. Most common stain of FMD is O. The most indicative synonym of hemorrhagic septicemia is hard edema of neck. Amylema, bottle edema or bottle edema is observed in the fasciolosis, and the neck edema is observed in hemorrhagic septicemia. Amelia means absence of spinal cord. Amelia. Swollen face in poultry is seen as infectious coryza. Mycoplasmal disease of poultry is chronic respiratory disease. Avian encephalomyelitis is also known as epidemic tremor. Epidemic tremor is avian encephalomyelitis. Hemorrhages at petechial muscles are seen in IBD, infectious bursal disease. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Pulpy kidney is found in swine fever. Pulpy kidney is found in enterotoxemia. The correct sentences all other are correct as horses are more susceptible to tetanus. Button ulcers in intestine are seen in swine fever, and overeating disease is enterotoxemia, as the more healthy animal is more susceptible to be infected with enterotoxemia. Lambs, especially lambs and sheep, it is the disease of sheep lambs. In which disease hemoglobinuria is not a feature? In theileriosis, hemoglobinuria is not a feature. Hemoglobinuria is a feature of babesiosis and leptospirosis. Vacuolation of neurons are seen in mad cow disease. Microabscess in brain is pathogenic lesion in listeriosis. So in listeriosis, the goat rotate in one direction, it tends to move in one direction, in circular direction. Which of the following produces fibrinous perihepatitis in fowl? E. coli produces fibrinous perihepatitis in fowl. Vaccine given at first day itself at hatchery is Merrick's disease. Telescoping of intestine is called as interception, or is also known as telescoping. PPR is also known as goat plague. Zebra marking intestine is seen in rinderpest. Rinderpest has been eradicated from subcontinent as Pakistan, India. Avian spirochetosis is transmitted by tick. Lymphoid leukosis is also called as big liver disease. Edema factor play important role in pathogenesis of anthrax. Moraxella bovis causes infection of eyes. Wooden tongue is caused by actinobacillosis. Wooden tongue, actinobacillosis, BW, remember bacillosis. Wooden tongue and actinomycosis is lumpeza. Equine infectious anemia is also known as swamp fever. In which disease virus causes destruction of neurons diffusely throughout grey matter? In looping ill, virus causes destruction of neurons diffusely throughout grey matter. Recent outbreak of avian influenza was by H5N1. Biphasic fever is characteristic of canine distemper. Nasal granuloma in cattle is caused by Schistosoma nasalis. Psittacosis is mainly caused diseases in birds. Square tree eye is characteristic of CBPP. Sequeretra is characteristic of CBPP, contagious bovine pleuropneumonia, a disease in which cat acts as final host and intermediate host, both is toxoplasmosis. East Coast fever is caused by Theileria parva. So as the cats are infected with toxoplasmosis, so it is suggested that the pregnant women should have to avoid the contact with cats, as the cats are infected with toxoplasmosis, may be infected with toxoplasmosis. They can transmit that toxoplasma to human pregnant females. East Coast fever is caused by Theileria parva. Species of Emeria causing coccidiosis in proximal part of small intestine is Emeria acervulina. Rhexis means escape of blood from a vessel by a rupture of vessel. Rhexis is escape of blood from vessel by a rupture of vessel. Multiple linear mucosal hemorrhages in rectum is seen in Ranikhet disease. Smallest red blood cell is found in goat, and the red blood cell with nuclei, nucleated red blood cells, are found in chicken, and the elliptical red blood cells are observed in camel. Convex, double convex shaped red blood cells are in camel, and nucleated red blood cells are in birds. Anucleated red blood cells are in mammals. In which outbreak and the red blood cell with remnant nuclei of mammals, if there is any remnant nuclei within the red blood cell of mammals, then it is called as the Hind's body. In which outbreak at poultry farm maximum mortality of birds will be expected? In infectious, I think it is not true. In ND there should be the maximum mortality. ILT, I think question number answer of 120 is wrong. Dolly's bodies or doll's bodies are toxic granules of neutrophils. Tropical fever is caused by Theileria annulata. Edema consisting of gelatinous material in neck and brisket region in cattle is hemorrhagic septicemia, and bottle jaw edema in neck and brisket region is in fascioliasis. Edema consists of gelatinous material in neck is by hemorrhagic septicemia. Which is the histamine is the main chemical mediator of inflammation. So antihistamine is the phenyramine maleate available or cetirizine available as Avil. In Angara disease, the pathological finding is hydropericardium. Hydropericardium is another name of Angara disease, and the most pathogenic species disease affecting snakes is salmonellosis. Salmonellosis affects mostly the snakes. Increase in number of immune lymphoid cells in blood is known as leukemia. Leukemia means increased in number of lymphoid cells. Immature lymphoid cells leukemia is not sure. Spleen with diffuse amyloidosis is known as Bacon's spleen. Bacon's spleen means spleen with diffuse amyloidosis. Which of the following statement is incorrect? FMD does not. FMD is observed in elephants, and the correct statements are: stargazing in chicken is due to vitamin B1 deficiency, actinomycosis mostly affect heart tissues in animals, and in anthrax rigor mortis is absent. In anthrax rigor mortis is absent because the mechanism of the coagulation of blood is inhibited, or there is intervention by this bacteria not to clot the blood. It blocks any of the factor of blood clotting. Which of the following pair is incorrectly meshed? The correctly meshed are pyelonephritis is the suppuration of kidney, white muscle disease by vitamin E, glanders is detected by Melaine test. In which vitamin is act as an antioxidant? Vitamin E and selenium acts as antioxidants. Macrophage in spleen are known as septal cells. Septal cells are the macrophages in spleen. Macrophage laden with hemosiderin pigment is heart failure cell. Heart failure cell is the macrophage laden with hemosiderin pigment. Toxic jaundice is also known as hepatic jaundice. Cirrhosis means deposition of iron dust in lungs. Vanderberg test for obstructive jaundice is direct. In abscess, which type of necrosis is seen? Liquefactive necrosis is in abscess. First change after death is algor mortis, then the rigor mortis. Cartwheel appearance of nucleus is found in plasma cell. Extreme elevation of leukocytes in peripheral blood is known as leukemide reaction. Blood in vomitus is hematemesis. Blood from oviduct is designated as hemosalpinx. Means blood from salpinx means oviduct. Condition which is hereditary and sex linked, in which clotting is delayed, is hemophilia. Transformation of one type of cell into another is known as metaplegia. Capillary rupture and hemorrhage occur due to deficiency of vitamin C. It is again repeated question, not sure it is true or false. Vitamin C causes capillary rupture and hemorrhages due to deficiency of vitamin C. Healing by first intention occurs in closed wound. In closed wound, there is healing by first intention. The mass of proliferating connective tissue under scar is known as keloid. Fibrin entraps the irritant and thus facilitates phagocytosis. Blackhead disease is predominant a disease of poultry caused by parasite. Which of the following is correctly matched? Lumpy skin disease is caused by a pox virus.